not clickbait. This will be the last Reddit reply as you know it. And this is mostly in response to one Reddit post on the Marvel Champions LCG. And I want to talk a bit about it because I think it's an important one to talk about, and I think it's indicative of a larger trend on Reddit and other places, and kind of where the content creation space is. So I want to talk a bit about this post. We're gonna kind of go into this quite a bit. It's only gonna be one thing. Um, I want to first stress that there is no ill will toward any poster in this subreddit, not a single one. The vast majority of them bring up good things, and even the topic creator, I've talked to this person before, and there's no ill will whatsoever toward this person. And also, there is none toward the mod in the Marvel Champions subreddit. Ludi, who does amazing work there, absolutely fantastic, has never asked me to ever pull back on anything or not do things or whatever, right? Has never done anything, so it's not a response to them. It's not a response to those people specifically. But this has been a long time coming, I think, personally, and I will explain why in a bit. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, let's go over to the Reddit page and check out the post. So once again, I want to reiterate the most important thing once again, just to really drive this home. If you see different usernames, different people, and they say something or whatever, like, it's all good. Like, please understand, I don't ever want anyone from my community ever attacking anyone or thinking that, you know, because they said something like this is why this all whatever, right? I just don't want anyone to ever attack anyone. It's not the right thing to do. Doesn't matter. So there's first this post, and it says, can we stop with all the posts directed at specific content creators? Maybe I'm in the minority here, but I find it a little too much when I'm scrolling and see posts where someone pitches a specific idea or question and hints that they want a specific content creator to answer it. There are several different ways to reach out to them directly if you want their opinions. Some have Discord channels, others have YouTube channels where they provide other means for reaching out. Some even have their own subreddits, but they all have Reddit accounts. Maybe just DM them if you must. I've reached out to some before on things and have conversed with them on here like you all have. For better or worse, they don't bite. I love the content creators and all the hard work that they do is amazing content for us all to consume. I don't want it to go away, but it's just like some people are making posts just so that they may see themselves on a Reddit reply video. This post is obviously directed to me. Now, maybe there's other people as well that do something similar. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't keep up with all the content out there, but obviously this has to do with me. It has 70 upvotes as of right now, which, like, not a lot of things get that many upvotes. So obviously people are annoyed by this, and that's fine. So they kind of get into posts, and the mod says, like, look, they're open to banning anything. But what is it, right? You need a defined rule. This person talks about self-promotion and whatever, and that we can get into in a second too, because I do want to talk about that. And then, yeah, where somebody has an idea for it and whatever, and that's fine. And then this obviously has to do with me, and again, something along like this. And then this person just talks about how they just call the spade a spade, and they talk about they don't know how to articulate it, but they had not heard of me until Shadow the Cast, which, if you haven't listened to that podcast, you should. It was a lot of fun. And they have no ill will, but they're extremely disappointed with the different posts that are about me, right? And there's different posts that are will have like high D20 in it or whatever, right? Because they want their question answered, and it was like a little fun thing we did. And yeah, and people go on and talking about it, and it's just, some of it's towards me, some of it's this person just dislikes me, which I don't blame you. I don't really, whatever, I get it. So people discuss it, and I wrote that I will address it with this video here and whatnot. And yeah, just it kind of goes on and whatever. So here's the thing. Here's the quick thing about this in particular. So for those that don't know, you can actually see all my Reddit reply videos. It's all tagged on my channel. And I had to look up when I first started. The very first one I actually deleted because it was so bad. But I first did it starting September 9, 2022, which is like a year and a half I've been doing these videos, right? And they're probably my most they're my most watched videos, and there's useful information in there. And there's some that's kind of like throwaway information that's probably not great. But it's by far some of my most viewed stuff, right? And some of the stuff that I think a lot of people like on my channel. And to put it in perspective, when I first started this, what did I say, September 9th of 2022, it's 14K people, so it was a pretty big subreddit. So there's a lot of questions being asked and whatever, and it's obviously grown a lot more. It's 5,000 more people there and whatnot. So here's the thing. When I first started doing this way back in the day, I actually way back in the day, I would post a lot of my videos to this subreddit. And it's a part of the reason why I kind of got off the ground was because there was, not that the subreddit was small by any means, because it wasn't, but there's a lot of people that were just like starved for more content. At this point, Nelson and I from Nelson All Over Cards are like the two like oldest channels left that still do content regularly. Like obviously Dale's channel is still out there, but he hasn't posted content in years. Tony got rid of his. I don't know of anyone else that really still does stuff that's as old as ours. So like way back in those days, like nobody paid attention to the smaller channels. So I did post in here a lot. And over time, people would just be like, hey, that's a little much. Like we don't, you're good, right? You got big enough. So I stopped I think it was about 6-7 months ago. I stopped posting my videos in this subreddit. I think I did it once for one thing because it was something that comes up a lot or whatever. But generally speaking, I try to stop posting my videos in here. But I continue doing the Reddit replies because I thought they were fun and they were enjoyable, and you had some benefit or value to the community. So I did them. And then of course, my community is a bunch of jokesters, right? If you've ever been on a live stream with us, we have a good time. We make a lot of jokes. We do whatever. And people wanted to make memes, and they made memes and they put them in my Discord, and they were like, hey, I think I'm going to put them in the subreddit and see what happens. And that kind of, I think, started the whole issue with me personally, because there's a lot of people that don't want that type of content on Reddit. Reddit, for me personally, and especially in the past year, and not just this subreddit, but other ones as well, has really changed to where they don't want any outside content. They only want things that the collective subreddit is in on, right? Or like very original content. And that's not a bad thing. Like I don't want to make it seem like, oh, that's the death of the subreddit. It's obviously not. It's very healthy for a subreddit to be like that. I think when it was still maturing, or more people were coming into it, it became this thing where people want it to be its own thing, right? They don't want it to be the Marvel Champions subreddit and then like there's an offshoot of like the D20 section, right? Because I get it, not everyone likes me as a content creator, not everyone likes me as a person, not everyone likes what I do, and that's fine, right? You're not going to please all the people all the time, and I'm okay with that. But I stopped doing a lot of that stuff of posting videos, and the community, in my community, they made some memes or whatever. They would do the shout outs on Reddit reply because they want to get seen, and thought it was good fun, right? I think there was a post where I even asked the moderator, like, if you want me to stop it, like just say it. And maybe I just thought it and I never said it. Maybe that's my fault. Because I can't always remember what I post and what I don't post. So then they never complained or said don't do this or whatever. So again, I don't want to make it seem like the moderator cracked down on me. Like that's not it at all. So I noticed that there was kind of animosity there, and whenever I would post things, it was very interesting because even if I just posted a response to a question, I was getting immediately downvoted really quickly to negative amounts. This comment, it's actually kind of interesting now that it's in the positive, but when I first posted my comment, it was originally down to -2, and luckily it got re-upvoted back up to 1. Well, not luckily, it doesn't really matter to me, but like anything that relates to me would get downvoted right away. There is a group of people that do not like me, and there is a lot of, I don't know if you would call it subtweeting on Reddit, right? They do it on Twitter. I'm not going to call it X. When they do it on Twitter, right, when like you're on talking about somebody, but you don't really say who you're talking about, like the whole subtweeting idea. It started happening more and more on this Reddit page. And that was really prevalent to me about like 4 months ago. And I don't want to bring it up because, again, I don't want anyone to be like, oh, it's this user, like we're going to go after them. Like, I don't want that. But it started happening a little bit. And I was like, whatever. I'm a content creator. My whole gig is out in the open, right? So I get it. And it just kind of happened more and more and more. And it's just one of those things where it's been getting annoying for me. Like I would go onto Reddit and I would answer questions or I would do whatever, make the videos, and it would be every few posts I would just see a subtweet that had to do about me, right? And maybe 3 or 4 posts is too much. Maybe it was like 1 in 10 or 1 in 12, right? Maybe it wasn't that much, but still, it was enough that I noticed it a fair amount. And that just wears on you, right? It gets tiring. I don't want to deal with it. It's not worth it to me. So, yeah, I guess that's to officially say that this is it. This is it with this subreddit and what I'm going to do with Reddit replies. I will no longer make any Reddit replies answering questions from this subreddit. I just don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. It's exhausting. And I don't even want it to be a thing where people are like, oh, well, it's a handful of people's problems, or I'm sorry, handful of people's fault, whatever, right? It's a handful of people. It's a loud minority and whatever. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't really know. But 70 people upvoting on it, something is like still a decent amount for this subreddit. So it's just one of those things that it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth doing. So I don't want again, I want to really stress this. Don't like urinal sharts here, which is still just the best name. He has talked to me. I assume it's a he. I'm sorry if it's not. They have talked to me and they're a great person, right? They've asked me questions and like great person. And this is nothing personal. Like this is not at all what it is. So I don't want anyone saying anything, but I think in general, the Reddit reply videos as they have stand now have kind of run their course. I think the community in this subreddit has had enough of it. And I get it. So I'm not going to do it anymore. With that being said, there is a lot of people I know, because this was brought to me by quite a few people that messaged me on Discord, and those of you who have messaged me privately to bring this up and like show support and whatever. Like I appreciate it. Like it's all good. Thank you. I don't want the answering of questions to die, right? I still think there's a value there for people, but I don't want to poach the questions off of this subreddit. So here's what I'm going to do. I have a subreddit. I don't update it. I'm really bad at it. There's only 31 of us because I don't promote this thing ever. If you want me to answer questions, you can post it here or you can post it in my Discord. The links to both are down below, or you can just put it in the comments of videos if you want. And I'll get better at like jotting all the questions down and then answering it, right? I will still, if it is still wanted in this space, I will still make those type of videos. I am just not going to pull the information from here. That's really what it comes down to. So I know there was a couple of people who commented on me saying that, I was going to address this and whatnot. And it'd be like real shame to stop the Reddit reply videos. I don't want it, again, to be a thing where we just don't talk about rules, questions, or whatever, because people still have them and people still post them on my videos, which is fine. You can post on any one of my videos. I'll be more than happy to answer the questions. Like I said, I'll work. I'm going to get better at dealing with the subreddit and like promoting it and actually doing it. So if you have questions, you can put it on here. Same with my Discord. I'll put a separate section. I have to figure out the best place to put it, but I don't really know where it is yet. But yeah, so that is what we're going to do moving forward. All right, so yeah, I guess that's the last one of this type, right? And once again, one last time, I know this is like the third or whatever time bringing this up. Do not harass anyone at all about this. It's not one thing, right? It's not one person. So don't ever do that. It's not the right thing to do. I will say, because now I've shifted scenes, I can think a little bit too. One of the other things I've seen, and I think I want to do more, is I want to promote more smaller content creators. Here's the thing. It's really hard to be a content creator in the Marvel Champion space because it's dominated by really, like, there's a handful of us, like the big ones, right? And if you're small or just starting, it's really, really hard to kind of get going and kind of get started. There's a handful of content creators that are on my Discord, and they're up and coming, and they make really good content. They make good gameplay videos. They really put their heart and soul into it. And I want to help shine a light on those people more. So like I said, join my Discord. They're posting their videos in there. Support those people. Because I see them posting on Reddit and they get downvoted right away. And I get it. People don't want to like their Reddit page to turn into like this thing where you just promote yourself. I get it. I really do. But I also get the struggles of being a new content creator in a space where you're kind of entering it later on, and there's some big names already in here, right? So anyway, I want to shine a spotlight on them. So maybe we'll start doing some more stuff with that. I think that'll be fun. But anyway, the point of that is they're going to be in this subreddit the Discord page. I encourage them to promote their stuff in my subreddit. I personally think YouTube content creation and just content in general is really good. And I don't think it being in one spot like a subreddit page and just being entirely related to that is always the best thing. I think the way I have learned about new content creators is through Reddit. I'm really appreciative of that subreddit of Marvel Champions. I've gotten to meet a lot of people, and a lot of people I consider, I don't know, friends, but acquaintances, I guess, through the subreddit. So I'm internally grateful for that, and for all the people I've met. It's just whatever. Okay. So I guess that's it for this video. Like I said, we'll do something again like this at some point in the road. I don't know when, but sometime in the future we'll do something. And like I said, ask questions on this video. Do it in my Discord, or I'm gonna work on the subreddit page. This will be a thing we have to do and get better with. But we'll put it on here. I figure like that's between those three spaces that should cover a wide range of people that want to ask questions and have them answered. So. Anyway, thank you all for your continued support on this channel. I greatly appreciate everyone that sits here and watches these videos and likes them and subscribes and all that fun stuff. It truly means a lot. And one last time, don't harass anyone. Don't do it. It's not what the community is about, and it's just don't do it. So anyway, I'll see you all next time.